This video will show you how to drill down in grouped data. There are, in fact, many different ways to drill down in grouped data. Perhaps the easiest way is to use the built-in Show Details feature. To do this, select the group or groups that you are interested in a chart or crosstab, and then press the Show Details button. This opens a panel at the bottom that displays the detail information for the groups that you've selected. You can scroll through the detail information and export these details to an Excel file by pressing the Export button at the top right corner of the panel. To close the panel, press the red X. You can use the same procedure to drill down into the details for data grouped in a crosstab. Again, select the data that you are interested in, and then press the Show Details button in the title bar. Again, a panel opens at the bottom that displays the data corresponding to the groups that you've selected in the crosstab. Another way to drill down into grouped data is to use a flyover view or a data tip. A flyover view allows the user to dynamically filter a dashboard component as they move the mouse over a chart or a crosstab. In this case, when the user moves the mouse over the chart, we would like to update the crosstab at the bottom to display just the data for the group that the user points at on the chart. To do this, right-click on the chart and select Properties. Under the General tab, in the Flyover panel at the bottom, select Crosstab 1 as the flyover view. Crosstab 1 is the name of the crosstab at the bottom of the dashboard. Press OK to create the flyover. Move the mouse over the states on the chart and notice that the crosstab updates to display data just for the group on the chart that the user points at. This approach can also be used with a genuine detail table. We can add a detail table here by moving the crosstab to the side and then dragging a table component into the dashboard and adding some detail columns. If we designate this table as the target of the flyover view, again by opening the Properties dialog box for the chart and specifying Table View 1 as the target of the flyover, then when the user moves the mouse over a group on a chart, the detail table at the bottom will update to display the details only for the selected group. You can achieve a similar effect with a data tip. A data tip uses a dashboard component in place of the default tooltip. The default tooltip is the little text box that pops up when you move the mouse over a group on the chart. If you replace the default tooltip with a data tip, the component that you use as the data tip will be filtered to display only data related to the group that you point at on the chart. For example, we can use the detail table here as the data tip for the chart. Right-click on the chart and select Properties. Let's remove Table View 1 as the flyover view and then use it as the data tip view instead. Select Data Tip View and then choose Table View 1 as the data tip. Press OK and then preview the dashboard by pressing the Preview button in the toolbar. When you move the mouse over a group on the chart, you'll notice that the detail table now appears. The records in the detail table are records that pertain only to the group that the mouse is pointing at on the chart. In this case, orders that were made in the state of Massachusetts. Note that when you use a component as a data tip, the component, in this case the detail table, does not appear in its actual location in the dashboard, but it only appears when the user moves the mouse over the chart. Instead of creating a data tip using the detail table, you could just as well create a data tip using the crosstab table. Again, right-click on the chart, select Properties, remove the crosstab as a flyover view, and instead specify the crosstab to be used as a data tip view. Press OK, and return to the preview of the dashboard. Note that now the crosstab does not appear in its actual location in the dashboard, but instead the crosstab appears when the user moves over a group on the chart. Again, the crosstab is filtered to display data only related to the group on the chart that the user is pointing at. For more information about flyover views and data tips, see the video on 8 ways to filter data. You can also drill down into grouped data by using the auto drill feature. This feature is available by default for date fields, as you can see here. Pressing the drill down button next to a date drills down in the data to the next level of date grouping, in this case from year to quarter. Pressing the drill down button again takes us from quarter to month. Press the drill up button to return to the higher level of grouping. You can create the same type of auto drill for non-date fields as well. For example, in the crosstab, if you'd like the user to be able to drill from the category level of grouping to the product level of grouping, right-click on the crosstab, select Properties, and then select the Hierarchy tab. Here you can define the hierarchy that will control the drilling levels. First add Category as the top level of the hierarchy, and then add the name field as the second level of the hierarchy. You can add additional independent hierarchies by dragging other fields. For example, if you wanted the crosstab also to have a hierarchy based on region and state, you could add those fields as an independent hierarchy. With the hierarchy in place, when the user moves the mouse over the crosstab, the category groups now feature a drill down button, and the user can press this button to expand the category to view the products within the category. The same feature is available for a chart. Again, if you want the user to be able to drill from the region level to the state level, right-click on the chart, select Properties, choose the Hierarchy tab, then add the region field instead of the state field on the x-axis, the region being the top level of the hierarchy. And note that when you move the mouse over the chart, the x-axis now features a drill down button, which you can use to drill down to the lower level of the hierarchy. The drill up button is available to take us back up to the higher level of grouping. Note that although date fields feature the auto drill feature by default in charts and crosstabs, you can control the levels that the user can drill to in a date field in the same way that we set up the hierarchy for the other fields. Simply right-click on the crosstab or the chart, select Properties, open the Hierarchy tab, and then explicitly set up the desired date group hierarchy. Drag the date field once to add a new date hierarchy and specify the grouping level, in this case keeping it as year, and then drag the date field again as many times as needed to add additional levels of date grouping to the hierarchy. In this case, instead of drilling from year to quarter of year, we might want the user to drill from year directly to month of year. Press OK, and note that the drill down feature that's available for the date now goes directly from the year level to the month level, skipping the quarter level. There are no further levels available beyond the month level because only these two levels of hierarchy were specified on the Hierarchy tab. You can also drill down into grouped data by using a hyperlink. A hyperlink allows you to click on a group in a chart or a crosstab and drill down to another dashboard, which would usually contain detail information pertaining to the group. For example, in this case, we'd like to be able to click on a particular state and drill down to detail information for the state. To do this, you'll first need to create the drill down dashboard. Here we've already made one called Detail Dashboard. We have it open in a tab at the bottom. This will be the drill down dashboard containing the detail information. The first thing that we'll need to do here is to place a parameterized condition on the detail table. To do this, right-click on the table and select Condition. We'll specify a parameterized condition indicating that the table should be filtered based on state and display only states where the state is equal to some variable. So we'll select the variable option from the pop-up menu on the right. We can name the variable state and append this parameterized condition. Press OK to add the condition to the table. Note that the dashboard immediately prompts us to enter a value for state. You can enter a value here if desired, but when we access this drill down dashboard via the hyperlink, this parameter prompt will not be visible. Save the detail dashboard with the parameterized condition. Then return to the original dashboard that we were looking at. Now we can add a hyperlink to the chart. You can add the hyperlink to the state labels below the bar by right-clicking and selecting Hyperlink State, or you can add the hyperlinks to the bars themselves by right-clicking and selecting Hyperlink Sum Total. To target this hyperlink at the detail dashboard that we already created, select the Asset Link option, and then select the desired drill down dashboard from the list. In this case, it's the detail dashboard. Enter a tooltip for the hyperlink, and then press the Add button next to the parameter panel. The parameter name menu will list all of the parameters that currently exist in the detail dashboard that we created. As you can see, there is currently only one parameter in existence in that dashboard, the state variable that we created when we added the condition to the table in the detail dashboard. If the drill down dashboard contained additional variables, you would need to use this menu to choose the variable that you want to receive the contents of the hyperlink parameter. From the value for parameter list, select the value that you want the hyperlink to pass into the detail dashboard. In this case, we'd like to pass the state name into the detail dashboard. Press OK to save the parameter information, and press OK again to save the hyperlink. Save the dashboard, and then preview the dashboard by clicking on the Preview button in the toolbar to test out the hyperlink. Move the mouse over the bars on the chart and note that the mouse turns into a hyperlink pointer. The tooltip that we added when we were creating the hyperlink appears in the chart tooltip, as you can see. Click on the desired state and select the hyperlink to drill down to the details for the state. Note that the table in the detail dashboard now contains data only for the selected state. Note also that there was no parameter prompt for the state variable. When the detail dashboard is accessed via hyperlink, the parameter prompt is suppressed because the variable obtains its value from the hyperlink parameter. There is, however, a problem here. To see this, return to the preview of the original dashboard and make a selection of category and a selection for a date range. For example, just the end of 2014. This dashboard is now displaying data just from the last 2 months of 2014 in the category of business. Again, let's try the hyperlink. Move the mouse over the group that you want to drill into, click, and select Drill to State Details. Observe that although the records here are restricted to the state that we clicked on, the dates and the categories are not restricted to the dates and categories selected in the original dashboard. This may cause confusion for a user. If we want to restrict the data shown in the detail table based also on date and on category, we'll need to add a couple of other conditions. Close the previews. Return to the original dashboard. Right-click on the chart and select Hyperlink Sum Total again. Enable the Send Selections as Parameters option. This will enable the values that the user selects in selection components to be passed along with the hyperlink. In this case, the value that the user selects in the category selection list and in the range slider. Press OK to save the change to the hyperlink. Next, let's change the names of the selection components to something more meaningful. Right-click on the category selection list, select Properties, and change the name to Category. When the values that the user selects in the category selection list are passed into the drill down dashboard as part of the hyperlink, the values will be stored in an array called Category, the name of the component. Press OK to save the name. Do the same thing for the range slider. Right-click the range slider, select Properties, and provide a meaningful name, such as Date. When the values selected by the user in the range slider are passed into the drill down dashboard as part of the hyperlink, the values will be passed in a variable called date_start and date_end, respectively containing the start date and the end date that the user selects. These variable names are constructed by taking the component name, which is here date, and appending either _start or _end. Save the changes to the dashboard. We've now configured the hyperlink in this dashboard to pass not only the value of the state that the user selects in the chart, but also the values that the user selects in the category selection list and the start and end date that the user selects in the range slider. However, we still need to adapt the condition in the detail dashboard to handle the values that are being passed from the category selection list and from the range slider. Return to the detail dashboard. Right-click on the table and select Condition. We'll add 2 additional clauses to this condition. The first will filter based on the category. Category is one of the values in a variable, and this variable is the array that is being passed from the category selection list. The name of the category selection list and the name of the array that contains the values is category. Press Insert to insert this additional clause into the condition. The third clause in the condition will restrict the data in the table based on the date range that the user selects. This condition should specify that date is between a start date and an end date, where the start date and end date are both specified as variables. The start date is contained in the variable date_start. Remember that the variable containing the start date in the range slider is given by the name of the range slider component followed by _start. Likewise, the variable containing the end date in the range slider is given by the name of the range slider, again, date, followed by _end. Press Insert to add the third clause into the condition. Press OK to save the final parameterized condition. Note that again, we'll see a parameter prompt here, but we will not see this prompt when we access the drill down dashboard via the hyperlink. Press OK to dismiss the prompt, and then save the drill down dashboard. Return to the original dashboard and press Preview to preview the dashboard. Make some selections in the category selection list, and make a selection from the range slider. Now click on a group on the chart, and follow the hyperlink to go to the Details table in the drill down dashboard. Note that now the table is filtered on state, based on the state that the user clicks in the chart, as well as on the date, which is restricted to the range of dates in the range slider, and the category, which is restricted to the categories that the user selected in the category selection list. Finally, you can drill down into grouped data by using hierarchical drilling. Consider this chart, which plots persons per square mile versus geographical region. The selection tree on the right allows us to select groups either at the regional level, at the divisional level, or at the individual state level. Note, however, that while the selection tree filters the chart itself always displays the region on the x-axis. That is, the chart always breaks out the groups by region. Earlier in the video, we showed you how you could drill down in a chart to different levels of grouping. We did this by setting up a hierarchy on the chart. To do this, you can right-click on the chart, select Properties, select the Hierarchy tab, and then create the desired hierarchy. In this case, a hierarchy that begins with region, proceeds to division, and then to state. This then allows us to change the grouping levels shown on the chart from region to division or to state. But note that the grouping level on the chart is not coordinated with the selection that you make in the selection tree. In other words, if you set the grouping level on the chart to state, the chart will display grouping by state regardless of the level at which you make selections in the selection tree. In a case like this, it's useful to coordinate the grouping level on the chart with the selection level in the selection tree. For example, when we select the Northeast region, we would like to see just the divisions in the Northeast region displayed on the chart. To coordinate the grouping level on the chart with the selection that the user makes, you can use the drill member function. To do this, first remove the hierarchy on the chart, right-click on the chart, select Properties, and then clear the hierarchy that we added previously. Open the chart editor, and if necessary, restore the x-axis to display just the region field. Next to the region field, press the pop-up button and select Expression. Then press the Edit button next to the empty field. This opens the formula editor, where we can write a small expression that will set the field that's used on the x-axis based on the selection that the user makes in the region selection tree. Expand the component folder, and then expand the Selection Tree 1 folder. In the properties for Selection Tree 1, find a property called Drill Member and click on it. This creates the formula selectiontree1.drillMember. The drillMember property returns the field name that is one level below the level that the user has selected in the selection tree. For example, if the user selects a region, drillMember returns the field name, which is the next level down, which is division. If the user makes a selection at the division level, drillMember returns the field name at the next level down, which is state. The field name that is returned by the drillMember function is used to set the field that is displayed on the x-axis. Thus, if the user makes a selection at the level of region, the x-axis will display the division field. If the user makes a selection at the level of division, the x-axis will display the state field. Press OK to save the formula. Clear the selection tree and observe that the chart displays the 4 regions. Make a selection at the region level and observe that the chart now displays the divisions within the selected region. Make a selection at the division level and observe that the chart now displays the states within the division. Using this approach, you can coordinate the grouping level on the chart with the filtering selections that the user makes.